What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Recording. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. I hope you tuned in to today's live stream over on Rumble because we already picked eight. We're going to pick 8 winners by 7 o'clock tonight from that stream. Remember, you can watch it even after it's live up until 7 o'clock and enter. And don't worry if you miss today. You can watch tomorrow and win tomorrow every day for the next 15 streams. So make sure you download the Rumble app, follow the Quartering, and you can get your share of, you can even win multiple times. And I even have more prizes showing up in the mail today. You can see all the cool stuff behind me. So 60 different gift cards for $70 each, a PS5, an Xbox, bunch of Lego sets, a Rogue Ally, a Steam Deck, all this kind of stuff. Now, let's talk about the topic that means it costs me money, but I don't care because it's still news and it's important. And I know many people support me through my coffee company or by supporting sponsors. So all that is neither here nor there. YouTube, now we talked about over the summer, YouTube has renewed its war on ad blockers by testing out a 3-video limit. And they have been continually expanding that as more people try to work around it. They're also working on finding, blocking more and more pieces of software. Look, as a YouTuber primarily, I know I have my daily stream at Rumble, and that's growing, and hopefully by the end of next year, that's cranking, and we're doing 20,000, 30,000 viewers a day. I really hope that. That's my goal. But right now, the overwhelming majority of my income still relies on ad-supported revenue. Now, fortunately, I'm a larger creator. I've been very blessed in that manner, and so I can monetize in other ways, like selling delicious coffee brand coffee using promo code The Quartering. You can support me directly and my staff at Coffee Brand Coffee. People, support me on locals. People support me on by supporting sponsors. But as you're coming up, as you're a creator that's coming up, you don't really get sponsorship opportunities. You're not big enough to really generate any kind of reasonable income from sources like Patreon. Until you're bigger, it might be a few bucks a month, but you're still relying almost exclusively on ad revenue. But that's changing. Even though we look at our streaming services like Hulu and Amazon, let me tell you, you notice how they're all sneaking in these quote unquote ad-free tiers. They're putting ads in these basic tiers. Remember when you just pay for Hulu and Netflix, and you could pay for those two things, you could watch whatever you want, not have any commercials. Well, it started with Amazon, and I think Netflix has it now. I think Disney Plus is going to have it. Everyone's going to have some form of ad-supported tier on their streaming services, and mark my words, those ads are going to be in every level of service that they have. They're going to keep increasing the price on people over and over and over and over and over again until they can, they squeeze you dry. Things that used to be $15 a month ad-free will be $50 a month to get them ad-free. I promise you that. Look at Disney. Disney Plus is losing billions of dollars. The only one that's really making any money, as far as I understand, is Netflix. Peacock is losing money. All these are losing money. So YouTube, conversely, I would think is probably also losing money to a lot of people who are deciding not to watch the ads. And so they've rolled out this really aggressive shift to try and get people to get YouTube Premium. Just full disclosure, I have YouTube Premium because I don't like ads and I still want to support the creators I watch. Not everyone can afford YouTube Premium, and I don't hold that against people. So they've been doing this where they're like, YouTube's latest move encourages you to shift to YouTube Premium. Of course, they're saying your video player will be blocked after 3 videos. It looks like you may be using an ad blocker. Video playback will be blocked unless YouTube is allow listed or the ad blocker is disabled. Now, right now, it's a couple of the main ad blockers that they've been able to weed out, but soon they'll come for Brave Browser and Opera GX, I think is another one. All these other browsers, you're going to see them just rule them out. That's their long-term plan. The reason that they're doing this, if I have to guess, the reason they're doing this kind of slow rollout, this slow 3 strikes and you're out thing, is because they want to give people time to be convinced to sign up for YouTube Premium, which I understand. If you just said, hey, tomorrow all browsers that block ads are removed, you would only get a fraction of people and everyone would leave. And then maybe like go to Rumble and download the Rumble app and follow the quartering there. And you could see all the same videos there that you see here, plus my spicy daily live stream. But that's neither here nor there. So it started with this warning thing, which many people have experienced. And, again, it's difficult to say exactly what the interaction with or what the implementation rate was, what was the conversion rate to people that went to Prime or to Premium. But now we know, as of October 3rd, YouTube's plan spectacularly backfires. People are just going out and installing better blockers. In fact, as we talked about, as Louis Rossmann covered this topic, I got this topic idea from him. And he talked about how he wasn't able to talk about that one certain app. You know what I mean? Like that one certain app that we can't mention. After that video got taken down, total installs of his app absolutely exploded. A hockey stick on the chart of installs. That's what's happened now, seemingly, with all their alternatives. YouTube recently expanded its ad blocking efforts, transitioning from just a small experiment to a global launch. By the way, I can say this. My revenue hasn't gone up. So I don't know who's getting benefited from this, but it hasn't affected me in any meaningful financial way. I mean, I'm still earning I'm still down because of the Hollywood strikes, I'm sure. But I haven't noticed any benefit. So it seems like YouTube might be making more money, but certainly it's not passing down to creators, at least from my experience. However, the move appears to have had some success, as users are uninstalling the software in record numbers. But you could also argue that it's had the opposite effect, as even higher numbers of users have been turning to better software, better options. Hundreds of thousands of users have uninstalled. So this is pretty interesting. So hundreds of thousands of users had uninstalled blockers in October, which is when they started rolling it out. That's a lot, seemingly in connection with YouTube's broadband crackdown. Now, according to a report from Wired, at the very same time, data shows that record-breaking numbers of people are also installing alternatives that won't be caught in YouTube's net. Now, I'm guessing that this is going to be a bit of a whack-a-mole type of scenario where they're going to constantly be chasing, new alternatives. They'll block them. They'll figure out how to block them. I mean, still a lot of people use the YouTube app. Things of that nature. But I look at this kind of stuff like I look at anything, for example, like with piracy. I don't view them the same way. They're not the same thing. But anytime you tell somebody not to do something, that's exactly what they're going to do. When you have, these software companies that install these insanely intrusive, always online DRMs to protect people from, pirating their software, yet inconveniencing, let's say you have 10 million customers. I'll say 1 million. That's a more reasonable number, I suppose, unless you're Call of Duty. You have 1 million customers and 999,000 paid for it. You're inconveniencing all of them to try and screw over the 1,000 people that didn't pay for it. It becomes a huge issue where we saw this with the new consoles that rolled out, Xbox, PlayStation 5, where in order to play most of your games, you had to be online all the time. This affected greatly a lot of people, in particular in the military or people without high-speed broadband, infrequent or without broadband internet access. They couldn't play their games. And eventually, that just became the norm. And you see this software in early October, the people who are making these type of tools convened in Amsterdam for their industry's annual conference. One session was a welcome pitch from the Google product leaders about tweaks made to address fears that a security update in the company's Chrome browser could hamper ad zapping. Google, which draws nearly 80% of its revenue from ads, even co-sponsored the event, which is kind of funny. All the while, another team at Google quickly prepared to unleash the most sweeping crackdown of blockers since Facebook took them on in 2016. As the world's blockers returned home from their conference, Google's YouTube unexpectedly broadened their small test, which began in May, that uses pop-up dialogues to demand viewers disable their blockers or lose ability to watch videos on the site. Google was very proud to present at the ad blocking conference, says Mr. Madras, Director of Product and Engineering. And at the next day, they started the war. Previously unreported figures from these type of companies indicate that YouTube's crackdown is in fact working, with hundreds of thousands of people uninstalling them in October. Available data suggests that last month saw a record number of ad softwares uninstalled, as well as a record for new software installs, as people sought alternatives that wouldn't trigger YouTube's dreaded pop-up. So essentially, this is going to be, they're going to keep chasing these people and chasing these people. Ultimately, people that just don't want to watch them are going to continue to find software that doesn't. You see YouTube spokesperson Christopher Lawton says that the software violates the platform's terms of service, and that the company offers YouTube Premium, which costs $13.99 a month for people who want an ad-free experience. For me, I think that's too expensive. If you want to just say, hey, we're gonna, I think $5 is plenty, that kind of stuff, especially because nowadays with the modern kind of, the modern YouTuber, we're all doing in-video ad reads anyway. Yes, you can get even trickier and figure out how to get rid of those too. But you see this, one particular company says it has about 75 million users, including 4.5 million who pay for them. Normally see around 6,000 uninstallations per day for its Chrome extension. From October 9th until the end of the month, those topped 11,000 per day, spiking at 52,000 on October 18th. User complaints started flooding in at the 120-person based company, about 4 every hour. So essentially, you see another software recorded about a 30% more daily installation. People are just moving from one to the other. So that's the backfire, right? User complaints started flooding in, but another software also surged as others look for relief, reaching 60,000 installations on just one day. Subscribers grew as people realized that their tools, a different company's tools, remain relatively unaffected. So essentially, all this has done is just force everyone to move to something else. And certainly YouTube will chase these people down the road a little bit, but I would rather see YouTube give people some other options for enjoying that experience, more affordable options, certainly. And I don't think we're going to get that. I think that this is the fate of the future of streaming. It's going to be in Hulu. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be in Netflix. It's going to be in YouTube Premium. It's going to be in Spotify. It's going to be everywhere, and they're going to continue to do what they can to try and block it. But all it's going to do is spawn more people to go out and fight and find new alternatives. Certainly, the normies may give it up, but I don't think that this is going quite the way they thought. Right now, it appears YouTube's crackdown has people scrambling to find better alternatives. Some people are turning to other solutions. I don't know. I can't. YouTube doesn't let me say their names. That's why I'm not saying them. But there's a lot of options out there that are still working, and it turns out people are just installing better options. And I'd say that is a classic backfire. Instead of offering more value, you just try to demand money from people, and that almost never works. Like, hey, go buy some coffee from Coffee Brand Coffee, promo code The Quartering. It supports me directly. That's an ad. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, you follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.